Okay, we're live. It says we're live. So this is Supplement Snoop podcast, episode 1, and we're going to try to work our way through the kinks here and try to figure this stuff out. I've literally never in my entire life done a podcast all by myself, so I appreciate Supplement Snacks kind of helping me out here through if I'm doing anything ridiculous time. So we'll kind of hang out here for a little bit. So what I want to do on the Supplement Snoop podcast is, I've done tons and tons of podcasts in the past, and I've just met so many amazing people through this process. And one of the things that is really important to me is, I love supplementation, love working out, love fitness. We all kind of share that together. Good. That's a bonus. The ring light is in there. But one of the things that I love most about supplements and fitness and working out is the shared experiences that people have where it's not so much the working out part of it, the reps and the exercises. It's sort of like why we're there, what we're getting out of it, and things like that. So that's what I want to talk about on this podcast a little bit. In the future, I'll have guests. I wanted to kind of go through it on my own just to figure this stuff out first before I bring guests on. I already have a few guests lined up that I can't wait to bring on here. So we'll kind of hang out for a minute. Let me make sure to set up the link again, and we will get into it because we're going to try the Ghost peanut butter, Ghost Nutter Butter, chocolate Nutter Butter. All right. It's awkward because I'm watching myself on my phone. Hey, there's John. Going to hang out for a minute. What's going on, brother? We're gonna do some stuff. It turned into quite the protein episode. So I'm starving. We got the Ghost chocolate Nutter Butter we're gonna try. We have the apple cobbler like a pro, and the coffee cake like a pro. So I'll crack into it here in a minute, and then we could talk about whatever. And if not, we'll just we'll end it, and then we'll, like I was saying, John, before you jumped on here, I have quite a few guests lined up. I just wanted to kind of run through the paces first, get used to it, and then before I bring anybody else on. We've got some, obviously, like the access I have to amazing people in the space, I want to utilize that. So, yes. And if we hang out and it's just the three of us, that's all good too. I don't mind. A lot of people voted Thursday night though. So I was like, okay, well, screw it. I'll do it. And if not, the Apollon podcast will be a good time. Carolina, I've never really talked to Carolina before. So that should be a good one. Can edit this stuff out before we put it up. Give it a few minutes. And if not, I'll just try the proteins and then we'll call it a day. And yeah, so I stopped by and got the thickness shirt again. So I was telling Jacob today that I couldn't find my thickness shirt. I thought I found it the other day, but I can't seem to locate it. So he's like, "Oh, I'll make you one real quick." So I stopped in there, got some of the creatine. They have their own creatine now. Everyone should check that out. And then got some tank tops. All right, let's stop messing around. Let's get in this. We're gonna do the ghost one first. Chocolate nutter butter. This smells insane. It's insane. So this one, it's a whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, hydrolyzed whey, and then you have all the nutter butter sort of inclusions and things like that in there. So I know a lot of people, it's 9 carbs, 3 fat, 26 protein. So some people get turned off by the ghost macros. So this one won't be up there, Elliot. It's the same kind of deal, but I like them. So ghost nutter butter. Smells incredible. It's more, it's like more chocolate. I don't even know how much like nutter butter I get. I get a lot of chocolate. Get the little inclusions in there. I might have to try that one. Try that one again. That I was definitely expecting more peanut butter with this. So the inclusions in it almost are like if you were to take the filling from the nutter butter, that's what the inclusions are like. It's not crunchy like cookie pieces. It tastes like it's the actual peanut butter. So it's like a chocolate base. And then when you get the inclusions, it's peanut butter. So that's interesting. It's good. I mean, it's good. It's just not what I was expecting. I don't know, apple cobbler or coffee cake. Yeah, it's like, so it's hard to explain. It's more like if you just took the filling. So it's not crunchy. It's almost like a creamy, like the inclusions are like creamy texture. And I don't know if that's just from being in milk or being in the almond milk, or if it's just that's how they are. I don't know anything about it. Just kind of showed up today. I was kind of shocked. All right, so this is a new apple cobbler. This is a new apple cobbler. I've been holding off on this one, so people know this was my personal, probably favorite protein that dropped. That's so good. Oh man. Oh, that is so good. That's awesome. That is awesome. I don't know what else to say. It tastes so. Jeff changed manufacturers, and he switched manufacturers for the protein. So I was not sure if it was going to live up to it. It tastes pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. All right, and this is the coffee cake. This is the new one. I've never tried this one before. New flavor, period. It's very light. Like it's not sort of a slap you in the face kind of flavor, but then the coffee kicks in at the very end. That's good. It's light. The cake part of it is light, and then you get the coffee sort of at the end. That apple cobbler is so good. Yeah, I'm happy because I was a little concerned. I was concerned that switching manufacturers and things like that it might not be as good as the old one. It's so good. So there is actual coffee in here. I guess I should have looked at that. RGFV. Decaf Mexican coffee. Okay, so it's decaf. Arabica coffee. You definitely taste the coffee in there. Definitely taste the coffee. I would say out of the three, the apple cobbler is going to be my favorite. But I want to try this ghost nutter butter again. I think I was expecting more peanut butter, and it was more chocolate than I expected, which makes sense. But all right, so I think we will do that. All right, I'm just going to cut this off now rather than doing, because really the whole point of this was get in, get out, and we'll just see what we can do here. So I'm going to cut this up into some quicker content. I'm going to try to. So anyway, all right, I'm going to bounce out. Oh, there's Jeff. So I just tried the coffee cake. First of all, I don't know if you missed the apple cobbler one. Oh, see, all right. So now everybody's jumping out. I was just getting ready to cut out of here because no one was in here yet. So maybe I should try them all over again. The apple cobbler is still beautiful. Like it actually tastes pretty much the same. It might be better. It's got almost like more of a little hint more of the actual apple. All right, let me try this one. Yeah, man, it's got more apple, I think, in it. Maybe even because the last one was, is a beautiful thing, but this might even be a little bit better. The coffee cake, I'm bummed. I should have tried the coffee cake before the apple cobbler because now all I'm thinking about is the apple cobbler. So I was just talking to Kristen about this. That's all good, man. And I was literally like, okay, that's cool. Got it done, and I'll get out here and try to figure out what I'm doing here. But it's all good. We can hang out as long as everybody wants to hang out. I was just gonna go watch the game after I got done cutting this out. The coffee cake is you get the coffee at the end. That's what I drank it and I was like, oh, that's good. And then you get like this coffee, and I didn't realize like I tell people make sure you're reading labels. I didn't look at the label. I didn't realize there was actually coffee in there. So the coffee cake is really good. It's light on the cake. It doesn't have like a overly sweet weirdness kind of going on. I mean, that's what I would expect from Jeff's anyway. But then the coffee kicks in at the end, and it's like that's what I like too, where it sort of leaves you with the coffee taste there. But man, apple cobbler is just something else. Yeah, man. I literally those 2 scoops when he said he was going to send this one over. Those 2 scoops that I took, those were the last ones. I had been hanging on to that for I don't know, a year. Yeah, it's I can't. Yeah, I'll let you say that. That is so good. Yeah. That's how I would describe it. So if you didn't see, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this ghost one. It's a lot of chocolate. And then you kind of get the peanut butter. I will say, and I think this is one of the things that's cool about protein these days. The way Ghost makes theirs and the way Jeff makes his, they come out very different. Um, especially with these inclusion ones where there's a lot of ingredients and they're just very different, but they both come out good. So people can be like, okay, well, what are you looking for? Yeah, the cherry cheesecake that didn't last long because I think Kristen had a recipe for that. So she made some recipes and that didn't last very long. I do have an eggnog one in the stash. I still have an eggnog one, which was probably like my number two favorite one was eggnog. So apple cobbler eggnog. That apple cobbler is man. I need a code. I need to start making some money off this apple cobbler protein because I'm just gonna get everybody on it. Protein cherry cheesecake. Yeah, I have a feeling because it's so good. There you go. Because it's so popular and so good, I was like, I feel like Jeff will. He can't help it but bring it back. It's kind of like the apple cobbler because he was like, well, maybe I'll bring it back, and people are just like, dude, you have to. Everyone. Yeah. So I used Behemoth today, and you could tell because I got to TNS afterwards, and I was still. So this is what I love about Jeff's pre-workouts. There isn't even though Behemoth is higher stim, it's not one of those things where you're on your way over to the gym and you're just like all cranked up, you know what I mean? And you're walking back to and you're bouncing off the walls. Jeff's pre-workouts, I mean, I've never used a higher stim. He's never made a higher stim, but that's what I love about Pump and Focus is you feel good, but you feel it sort of like kick in more and more as you go along. That's how Behemoth was. I felt pretty good at the beginning of my lift, and then I was doing legs today, and then like 20 minutes in, because some people, I mentioned this before, like some people it just takes longer for the ingredients, and there's so many ingredients in there. It takes a long time for the ingredients to sort of work its way through your system and kind of start to work. I feel like I'm one of those people. But then, like I said, 20 minutes in, and I started doing some things. I was like, okay. And then, like 45 minutes in, I was really starting to feel it. And then by the time I did legs for, damn near 2 hours, I think I was shot. But when I got to TNS, the conversations I was having with over there, my brain was still just kind of firing on all cylinders. So that is an awesome pre-workout, and not surprising, but that's kind of ties into everything else we talk about when it comes to Jeff and some of these people that do the fully loaded pre-workouts better. They actually test them, right? Because you can throw. I can't tell you, like, that's one thing. I'll use this clip too for everyone else out there because you guys already know this, but if I use one more loaded pre-workout that clearly was not tested, and I don't mean tested as in the quality of the ingredients, but I mean they didn't bother to test it in like real life. 500 ingredients, and they'll feel like two. They'll feel like a whole bunch of caffeine and maybe some yohimbine or maybe some like that. But every time I try some of Jeff's, like his are there for a reason, and you can almost feel like the different things happening in the products. Like with him having peak ATP in there, the peak ATP, you really get it it's a very mental thing because not a lot of people will use peak ATP because it's so expensive. They use Elevate ATP, which is still a cool ingredient, but Elevate ATP is a natural way to increase ATP in the body, whereas peak ATP is literally they're like, we're going to give you adenosine triphosphate and let you go after it. Yeah, and just like Pump and Focus version 3, I think it might even be less ingredients than version 2, but the way you took some things out, because we had a little bit of the version 2 still available, and trying that next to each other, it really sinks in how much of an improvement version 3 was, at least for me. I use it like every day, and if I'm using 150 milligram pre-workout every day, that's accomplishing something. 1 scoop. Yeah, I went 2 scoops. 33.6 grams. So it's a protein scoop. Yeah, you need to save it for TNS party. Maybe we'll see if we can get Brett and Nate and everybody to come, and we'll do incline dumbbells for 6 hours. That would be where it's at. Well, and the crazy thing too about, I know, this is us here. I can use this for like content elsewhere about the Alpha GPC. The funniest thing about the Alpha GPC, with you taking Alpha GPC out of version 3, is I have more mind muscle connection and more mental focus by far with version 3 without Alpha GPC in it. Imagine that. But I really like Purple Force and Vasodrive. And then Cognitive IQ, that's the old neurofactor. So I think that definitely plays a role too, just in the mind muscle connection I get with that is insane. That's why I told Kristen, I've been trying to take a day off from the gym for quite a few days now. I get up and I want to go back and use it because I'm just having great workouts like every single time. Yeah, you were the one that tried the old one because you're like, oh, we should use up the old one before we buy more of the new one. And so Jeff, her saying this, I don't know if I should air out your business. In fact, I guess I've already done that enough, but this is the same girl that would use Bomar's pre-workout and mix it with Monster energy drink. So for you to switch, now for me to be to switching to a lower stim is one thing, but I think for you to switch to a lower stim, that's everything I see, man. Alpha GPC is it's about 2 hours, which I think like it could be maybe useful post workout. Like if you're taking in a pre, maybe it starts to help you through your, if you're there for a long time and it kind of helps you through, or it could maybe help you in a post-workout setting in some way. But that's an expensive ingredient to not really have a lot of. I get why everyone was putting it in there. It made sense why it was popular because there was a study done, and I know that's one reason why you put it in there. There's studies that's like, okay, it increases power output in athletes. So it's like, okay, let's put it in a pre-workout. It makes sense. But I think just the setting. So if I take Alpha GPC, it would be, maybe in the morning, like a couple hours before. Yeah, Purple Monster and Bomar. All right. So yeah, we got 3 great proteins I got to try tonight, and can probably wrap it up. Oh, how things have changed in a couple of years. You sleep now. That's always a big one. Like when you actually allow yourself to sleep. All right. I'm gonna head out. Purple Force is really cool. I'm gonna head out. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna figure out this thing here. And Jeff, thanks again for sending over all that amazing stuff. I appreciate you. I'll definitely. That's one thing too, Jeff. I'll definitely. I'm gonna start doing guests like next week probably or something like that, and we'll definitely have you on and talk about all kinds of fun stuff inside the gym, outside the gym, life. But all right, I'm going to end this and chop it up. And yeah, so Ghost, really good, different than I expected. Apple cobbler, probably even better than I expected, which is crazy. And the coffee cake, very well done.